On the power and control wheel, one of the tactics is male privilege. And if there's anything that drives all of this abusive behavior that we've been talking about, this is it. It's the notion that as a man in relationship with a woman, I believe that I get to dominate you, control you, use physical violence if necessary to get you to submit to me. Because literally the privilege goes right to the core of that man's identity. And he will fight for that, to hold on to that, as if he's literally fighting to hold on to himself. So, for example, in class when I work with men who've committed these acts of violence against their partners, and I've role-played, say, how to negotiate fairly, right? So we're not being abusive, we're acting out of partnership, and they'll see me negotiate some outcome with my co-facilitator who's a woman. And I'll ask the guys, so what'd you think? And I often get responses like, well, you don't have a spine. Like, why didn't you just tell her what to do? They literally can't imagine themselves sitting down with a woman and on an equal basis and negotiating something out because they don't believe that she's actually equal to him. Now, if I ask them, do you make mistakes? They'll say, yeah, I make mistakes. I said, what about owning those mistakes to her? And I'll get this, like one guy said, look, I make mistakes. I might be wrong sometimes, but I'm never going to be wrong to her. Okay? So the whole idea behind that is that I'm smarter than she is, I'm better than she is, and if in any way she comes equal to me, then I as a man get diminished. Because his identity is so grounded in this notion of superiority over women that he literally can't even imagine looking at her eye to eye, calling her by her given name. So if we're looking for something that's behind why men beat women into submission, it is this notion of privilege, of entitlement, of dominance that they have and that they believe they get to execute with the woman in their lives. They don't believe this about other people in their lives. So, for example, they can go down and sit down with a coworker or their boss and negotiate. So it's not like they don't have the skill to negotiate. They simply just don't believe that I have to negotiate with her because she's mine and I get to tell her what to do. That's the thinking at its fundamental core when we work with men who batter, that we're trying to help them see what it leads to and what they lose and what happens to her when they execute it.